Hello, and welcome to your very own Tech and More. As part of the ongoing series that is Top Test Automation Interview Question and Answers, welcome to one more video. So, till now, in these three videos that you see on the screen, we have discussed numerous questions from the Selenium WebDriver interview perspective. So, this video is a continuation of that. Before I go ahead, let me tell you that if you are looking for a real-time live training on business analysis, quality analysis, test automation, Salesforce admin, Salesforce development, any of these things, uh, me along with one of my partner, we offer such trainings. Uh, we have batches ongoing. So if you want to, I will share the link of the form in in this particular comment. So go ahead and fill up that form, and we'll reach out to you for further details. Cool. So yeah, let's start with the questions. Back to the regular questions. The 17th question of this series, sorry, this one is which browser drivers are supported by Selenium WebDriver, right? So this is a very commonly asked interview question, and I see that a lot of people fail to answer all, the less used ones. So you know Chrome, you know Firefox, but there is Edge, there is Safari, there's Opera. So all these browsers are supported by Selenium WebDriver. Cool. So yeah, this is this question. Now let's go on to the next question. So, my bad. I'm always stuck at this point. Give me a second. Cool, perfect. So the next question is, what are the different ways in which web elements can be located, right? So, see, guys, on a web page there are numerous web elements, right? There's a text box, there's button, there's hyperlink, all these. So this basically questions that if you want to locate an element using any locators, right? And what locators are, what types, that is already explained in a playlist which is termed as Salesforce automation testing. So go and have a look at that on my channel as well. But yes, for now, for the folks who know it, because of course, if you are preparing for interviews, you know the theory. So yes, uh, there are different ways in which you can locate an element. So you can do it using ID. You can do it using, let me see if I can find a class for you. So you can do it using the class value. You can use it using the XPath. XPath syntax is there, right? So the different ways in which you can locate an element basically that comes under this question. So you can locate your web element using ID, class, name, link, partial link, that is a part of the link, tag name, that is tag is this one. Again, very quickly. For example, you talk about tag. So let me go and navigate to this element, for example. I'll inspect this element, see input, div, all these, right? So these are the different ways in which you can locate an element, but the most famous one is an XPath because it is most widely used. Okay, cool. So that is the different ways in which you can locate an element. Now let's go on to the next question. So it says how to move to the nth child using XPath. What is an nth child? I I found this very good answer on Stack Overflow, so I'm going to refer to that. So whoever wrote this answer, thank you so much. So let's have a look at the code here, sort of a DOM or a web element which has been written in this manner. So pay attention to where my cursor is. I'll zoom it a little as well. There is this tag root, then there is A, then B, just imaginary tags, right? And then if you see item 1, item 2, item 3, and item 4, they're all in the same hierarchy, siblings to each other, right? Uh, the question is that if I want to use the nth child concept, that is item 1, item 2, item 3, they're all child to A, but they're in the same hierarchy. So how do you identify, let's say if you want to find out item 1, how do you do that? The process is that you have this particular syntax. So you start from root, that is from the very first one, right? Then you go to A, the A tag, then you go to the B tag, and then you write down the syntax as position. Position is a syntactical thing. There is no logic behind it. You have to write this word, and then you write it, and then you have this variable. So you give the value which you want. So let's suppose if I want item 1, let's see how this chap has written, right? So basically 1, 2. Accordingly, you can go and find the particular web according to your choice, giving the indexing, right? So the next time someone questions you, you give them this example and you share this particular syntax with them. This syntax is similar. So I'm sorry, let me go back to the slide. This is the syntax. And this is how you can understand it, right? If you want to access this syntax, if you want to access this link, this is all there in the presentation, in the deck. I always share such deck and resources in my video. So go and have a look at it. Cool. Perfect. Then The next question is, which method can be used to type text to an input web element? That is, when I go to my, this particular login.salesforce.com, and if I have to enter anything here, I'm doing this manually using my fingers on the keyboard. But how do you do it using automation? Do using Selenium WebDriver. The drill is that there's a method which we call as dot send keys, right? Again, if you watch the videos, you already know it. It's quite a straightforward question for folks who have seen the videos. But yes, I'll show you this example as well. So I don't know where that particular thing went by. Give me a second. Uh, 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 uh. Test example 2.java, right? So in this file, there's this dot send key. So what this line is doing, basically you have a driver object, then you given the method as dot find element, right? And then you basically have this dot send keys here. So basically dot send keys helps you to input data. So the action that I'm doing manually, that is typing in, when I give dot send keys and I give any parameter here, this is what basically finds the data or inputs the data into that input box. Okay. So yeah, that's that. Then let's go on to the next question. Oh, my bad, I'm in the wrong page. The next question is uh, how to scroll down a page using JavaScript. So let's first see it manually. As I always say, first understand things manually, and then only you can understand them using better using automation, right? So I'm going to go to this website, which is Guru 99. And if you see there's a scroll here, right? It's a long web page, so I can scroll down, right? Manually, how am I doing it? I'm basically just taking these two fingers and moving them over my trackpad, right? This is how you basically use or scroll a web page. This is a very basic thing, right? But what if you want to do it using automation? Using automation, we have this very small piece of code that can be beneficial for you to understand. So let me go to MISC examples.java. Pay attention to line number 40. I have basically instantiated an object for the JavaScript executor interface here, right? So that's the thing. And this JS object now has all the different methods and the powers of the JavaScript executor interface. There's a method, there's a way, which is on line number 43, js.execute async script. And then you write down it as window dot scroll by this. These are syntactical words. There is no explanation behind it. And then there is this horizontal 0 and the vertical as then scroll height. So basically what these parameters mean, the first parameter is the horizontal. So this one, how am I scrolling it horizontally? And the second one is the vertical. The second parameter is vertical. So it's saying that horizontally you need not make any scrolling. Vertically, you need to scroll to the entire height of the web page. That is, you need to go to the down, to the bottommost of the page, right? So let's see if this works or not. I'm going to execute this and let's see if it is able to scroll to the end of the web page. Ah, perfect. It scrolled to the bottom, right? That is that. That is how you basically, if someone asks you that if you want to scroll down to the page of a web page or to the end of the web page, how do you do it? Basically, you use such a code or such a syntax, right? Then the next question is, what is the significance of page object model? So the page object model is a design pattern that represents web pages or components in a web application as objects in code. It's used in Selenium automation to improve code readability and maintainability, right? It is used to reduce code duplication, right? And then it improves the test case maintenance and it helps to create an object repository. All this is theoretical. Of course, you should know this, but very quickly I'll tell you. On a website, there might be some web pages, not might, there are some web pages. So you basically record the objects or the XPaths of all these web pages and store them in one place, right? So if I want to maybe call the login button in any of my test cases, I'm not going to write down the XPath every time. I have a repository. I have already written the XPath there. I'm going to call it straight away into all the test cases that I want. So what does that do? That basically increases the readability because I need not write down the XPath every time. I just call that particular variable directly. It reduces the code duplication. I need not write down the same XPath again and again, again and again. It improves the maintenance because every time there's a change in the XPath, I need not go and make changes to all the XPaths. Rather, I can just go and make change at one place and it changes at all places at one go. And the last one is, of course, it helps to create a repository. I have a storage sort of a place wherein all the things are already covered. So this is the significance of page object model, right? So I hope that these questions are being helpful to you. There are numerous questions, and I always feel that large, long length videos are a little boring to understand or to see or watch at least. So I always try to bifurcate into smaller chunks. So this video stops here. We discussed a couple of questions. In the next video, we're going to talk more about these questions. That is, can captcha be automated? What is the utility of Maven and Selenium, and so on, right? So stay tuned, watch more videos, and of course, if you have any queries, any questions, or if you have some specific requests for us, feel free to comment. We will be more than happy to create content, to create a video on your requirement, right? Thank you so much for watching and see you soon in the next video. Bye bye.